Okay.
All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. This Hangout is on the air, it says. Thank you for joining us. And Pat, welcome, Pat. Glad to see you on board. And Carol, hello, Carol. And Marta, with a T. And Bill, hello, Bill. Hello, Chris. And sorry we're a little bit late. How do I get out, Bill? How do you, okay. No thanks. Oh, Marta, you're in Facebook jail? We can talk about that, Marta.
Only Messenger, I think, but I'm not sure.
We can talk about that. Marta, we'll talk about Facebook jail here. Fundamentally, you got a message from Facebook telling you that you're in jail, and the message should have given you a time, told you how long you're going to be there for. There is no way out. You are there until they say so. Now you can appeal it, and if you think it's incorrect, you certainly can appeal. I'm not going to give you giant hopes that your appeal will do any good at all. Mine never have. So you're there. It's what it is. And all of us that play with Facebook get thrown in the Facebook slammer sooner or later for something. It happens. Okay, let's get started on Twitter. There's a couple things that I want to tell you. First off, I want to apologize for the late start. To be quite honest with you, up until a couple minutes ago, I wasn't sure we had a webinar tonight because I had the same issue. For those of you who were on Lunch with Len with me, I had the same issue launching this webinar that I had last Thursday on Lunch with Len. I couldn't launch. I kept getting an error message saying it wasn't communicating, and I don't know why. I've had multiple emails back and forth with Jim Finale. We don't know what's causing it. He doesn't know what's causing it. I took a couple of screenshots here tonight. I'm going to send them to him, show him what I was seeing. Somehow, by pure magic, the webinar started. To be perfectly honest and blunt with you, I have no idea what happened. It just wouldn't start.
I know why. Because I said, let's get the Zoom room open.
Well, yeah, that's right. Maybe you heard it.
Yeah, boom. It was like, oh, it's in. It works.
Well, Bill, that could be part of the issue. It really could be. I don't know. I've thought about that. It could be, and I'm also having some Twitter issues that are different than other people are having, and that also could be the same thing. But hey, look, we're going to run out of time before we run out of things to talk about tonight. That I can promise you. So let's launch. This is, I think, our fourth or fifth week of talking about Twitter, and we're going to talk about managing multiple Twitter accounts right now. Laura and I have both started a second account. We started it for the same reasons, and I'm going to just turn the show over to Laura right now, and she's going to talk to you about her new second account, why she started it, and setting up a second account, and what some of the parameters are.
Hey, everybody. Good evening. I'm glad you could make it. So, as I was listening to some training from last Wednesday night, I was able to take a look at it today, and going through the beginning of the training, I realized that how I had set my Twitter account up was from a really long time ago, before I even was in network marketing. And so I was targeting every single person in the world. I don't really know that I was really targeting anybody. And so as I'm learning the Twitter strategies that we're doing here, and now that I'm a little bit more familiar with just online marketing in general, because you have to remember, I've only been in this for 6 months now, I learned that it was just easier. I had 2 accounts, but they both were involved with Disney. And while I really super love Disney, I wasn't attracting the right target audience with my Disney that I wanted to. So I decided, just like Len did, to go ahead and start a brand new account. Since we decided to focus on Twitter now with the Diggin for Gold, I thought that's perfect timing to do that. So the first thing I did was, because my one of my MLMs is an organic account, organic health living company, I decided to go ahead and call myself Organic Mom. And so I started out with the header. The header is pretty much the same all over my social media, the Dream, Inspire, Believe. And the only thing that I really changed was a couple of ebooks that I had, and then I added my website on the header. So I did that. And then I also, I don't know where it is now, but in the beginning when you first set up an account, it'll ask you what your interests are. And I plugged in there all of the things that I thought that would help me target the audience that I'm specifically looking for. And so once I did that, it suggested, I think, 45 followers, might have been 50. So I just went ahead and I followed them all. And they were all exactly what I'm trying to target. So that right there was worth the work of starting a brand new page, account, I mean. So then I just went into the bio, and I'm not really sure. I just chose something that I might tweak a little bit later, but I'm pretty happy with it. And that's really all that I've done with it so far. Ooh, and I have 5 followers now. That's really awesome. And I did the one tweet that they suggested, and that was, I believe it was like, this is my first tweet. Yeah, hello Twitter, this is my first tweet. So I did my first tweet. Someone liked it. It was probably Len. Thanks, Len. And anyway, that's kind of why I started it over. It just seemed like it was, yeah, I love Disney so much, but it just wasn't getting to the correct audience that I really wanted to target. So that was the reason that I did it. And as we continue to learn together about all of these different accounts, and I know you're going to talk about this later, Len, but when I went into Status Brew and I wanted to connect another account, I actually upgraded because I wasn't paying for it, and I upgraded to the premium service just so that I can add my 5 accounts. And I know you'll talk about that later, but that's not something that I was doing, and I really believe that doing that is going to make it even better. So,
Oh, sure.
yeah, and that's not something that I realized how important it was until now. I'm really getting into the nitty-gritty of exactly who I want to target.
Right. Right. Yeah, I know. I think that's absolutely right. And I did the same thing for some of the same reasons. So I'm going to go. Let's see. You're off screen share now, right?
No, not yet. Oh,
Okay.
and by the way, you know, I know Pat wrote in there, 6-year-olds do not make good target for business, but I have to tell you, Pat, there is a gazillion moms out there who still love Disney and dads who will not grow up. And that is a great super target market for somebody who has something to offer them that has anything to do with Disney.
Well, I don't know. You're pretty entertaining. But I don't know if you can monetize that or not.
Yeah, I think somebody can. Maybe when I learn later, I'm going to figure out how to make that work, man, because I'm going to be going to Disney World every year just because I can.
Okay.
All right, so you're on.
I'm on. So if I can figure out how to make this work, I got to tell you, this is driving me crazy tonight. But let me just get. Can you see my Facebook page right? Okay, that came up. Good. Let me get rid of that. Here's Twitter. Can you see me?
Yep, we can see you.
Okay. All right. Following along, I'm going to take you over to Status Brew in just a moment, and we're going to talk about how to manage 2 accounts from Status Brew. But I'm going to show you this for just a second. I did this. Did the same thing. I started the second Twitter account. This is the second Twitter account. Now, for those of you who have been following along on the training for the last few weeks, this may look awfully similar to my other Twitter account, and it is similar, but it's not the same. The things that are different are some of the pictures that are in the header, some of the links in the header. And the bio is different, and the bio is targeting. Right now, I've got the silent soak sitting here, the silent soak funnel as the thing I'm targeting, and the reason I split or I went to a second account is, and we talked about this briefly last week. My primary Twitter account, I was trying to juggle organic stuff, organic and healthy food stuff, with MLM and MLSP stuff. And so it was just a mixed bag, and I was sending out mixed messages. So over the next period of time, as time goes on, I'm going to try to clean up and separate those messages out so that I have one Twitter account, this one, that is targeting the organic people and organic markets and et cetera, and the other one, which is more along MLSP, MLM sort of lines. So that's it. So let's go. Let's leave. I'm not going to spend any time on Twitter. I've got 10 followers, and the account's 2 days old. I've got 10 followers here. I've followed 700 people. I've got 10 followers, so that's not a very good ratio yet. But hey, we're just getting started, so I'm not too worried about it. I do have a different pinned post on this account. If you look at my other account, what I have pinned up there is my social media thing. And on this account, what I have pinned up right now is, well, you can see what I have pinned up. And I'm going to probably change that. But again, I'm just getting started. So, this is going to get refined. So let's go from there over to Status Brew and talk about managing multiple accounts from Status Brew. Now, by the way, the training that Laura mentioned, and I think everybody who's on here probably knows it, but the training was last Wednesday night on MLSP. Todd and it's not Leanne. Is it Leanne? Pardon me?
Leah?
No, Todd and Leah Ray. Sorry, Todd and Leah Ray did the Twitter training. It's about an hour and a half long. They did a phenomenal job. As Bill pointed out in Lunch with Len today, it was one of the best Status Brew trainings he's ever seen. They did a really good job, and they're running 3 separate accounts for slightly different reasons. That training is up in the MLSP back office now, and it's available for anyone who's a member of MLSP. You can go back and see the training if you haven't already seen it, or review it if you've seen it once. And they are on again tomorrow night on MLSP for a Q&A session. And I have them scheduled. Mark December 8th on your calendar. December 8th, they are going to be on Lunch with Len. Both of them together is the plan right now. So we're going to have them to ourselves for a half hour and change on December 8th. So plan on that. Okay, so here we are in Status Brew, and you can now see I have both of my accounts in here. Len at 5839, that is the original account that we've been working with for the last several weeks, and the new account, Organic Len. As Laura was mentioning, if you have the free version of Status Brew, I don't think you can have 2 accounts. Is that correct, Laura? Because I honestly don't remember. It's been so long since I had the free version, I don't remember what's included in it.
Oops, I forgot I was able to put in both account names, but I was very limited with what I was doing with the second one.
Okay, all right. Yeah, well, the free account is severely limited. For anyone who's just getting started, Martha, for example, if you're just getting started, all you need is the free account to get started. And you can work with the free account for a fairly long time till we get everything set up and running and working properly, and then upgrade to the paid account when it becomes necessary. The paid account is only, I'm going to say only, but you know, $12. I think it's $12 a month for this version. So, okay. So what I've done now is in my sources, I went ahead and added a new source. If you recall, up until recently, I had Adam Chandler sitting here as a source. Now I've added a new source, and the source is called @PlumOrganics. If you go back out to Twitter, and here's an interesting thing that I did. You know, in the Twitter search bar up here, you can search for things like organics, and you can get a list of stuff. I found this Plum Organics, and let me just show this to you. Plum Organics, it's focused on baby, toddler, and kids food brands, and it has 179,000 followers. And what I thought I would do was, my thinking on this subject right now is to mine this for a little bit and see how it works. And if you go back and just go back and look at my account, the way I've set it up, this new account, you know, I'm leading with the wake-up call for kids. So I'm focusing right now, I'm going to focus the account on people that have children and some of the messages that we have for families with children. So that's where I'm headed with this for the time being. We'll see how that works out. You know, for those of you who are on the webinar with Todd and the Getz last week, they pointed out emphatically over and over again, Todd pointed out that marketing is all about testing, tweaking, testing, tweaking. So we're going to try this for a while and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, well, we'll try something different. That's what we're doing.
Hey,
So
Len,
yo.
I have a quick question. And I don't know if I'm the only one with this question or not, but that's why I want to ask it. So when you're talking about sources, is that only available if you have the business account?
No, but the number of sources you can have is very limited in the free account. And I honestly don't remember what it is.
Because I upgraded to a premium account, which is between the free and the business.
Mm-hmm.
And when I go to add a source, it tells me I have to upgrade to add. So I'm wondering if I'm doing it right.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think that in this version of the account, I'm only allowed to have free sources. So if I click on the plus button to add a source, let me just see if it will add a third source. So what was your name? Organic Mom? Organic
_.
Mom 7.
Yeah.
Well, this already says 2 of 2 sources. I'm only allowed to have 2 sources.
Okay. Yeah, mine says 0 of 0. So let me go in.
That's not good. Yeah, you need to get to where you at least can have a couple of sources.
Yeah, it's not letting me do anything. Oh, do I have to do a hashtag? And then search?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Okay,
Let's put that on the burner. Let's come back. Let's you and I work on that. Let me carry on here. And so what we're doing now is I'm temporarily going to use the Plum Organics account. Like you saw, there's 147,000 people following Plum Organics. So and it's focused on the right kind of market for at least some of our products. So let's see where we can go with that. So the profile that I'm going to use Plum Organics to feed is my new @organics.com. So Plum Organics is now feeding the @organics.com or the @organics Len Twitter page. Sorry, I said organics.com. I meant the @organics Twitter page. So that's what we're doing. Now, I learned a couple things in the last week about the filters too. So let me show you a couple of new things. First thing we want to do, however, is we want to click all followers. The default mode is it comes up with this mutual follow back. And to be honest with you, I didn't really fully understand what mutual follow back meant, but I now do. Mutual follow back is people that Plum Organics is following who are also following Plum Organics. They followed back. They're not the people we're interested in. All we care about is people that are following Plum Organics. So we're going to select all followers. And we can do that right here, or we could have done it up here. But we're going to select all followers. So these are people that are following Plum Organics. Now, let's go look at our filters. Our activity filters. First off, we're gonna select fast follow. And you're going to see why in a moment. That's so we can sit over these little bars and we can just follow people very rapidly. As far as activity filters, I've cleaned up a couple of things that I was doing that weren't working right, and I didn't fully understand them. But the last tweeted, I wasn't using this, and this is a pretty powerful filter. And I was noticing I was getting a lot of people that in these lists, and if you start to go down this list, you're going to find people that haven't tweeted in a month or haven't tweeted in 2 months or 3 months. I don't see any right now, but let's leave it alone. What we want to do is get rid of those people, and the way to do that, and I'm going to tell you that I've been playing with Status Brew for a long time, and I had never figured this one out. I didn't realize that this button over here is a slide. So for those of you who didn't, if there's anybody else out there who haven't picked up on this little detail, this is a slide, and I can slide it. Isn't that interesting? So I can pick people that have last tweeted within 15 days, say, and if it's been, and it's going to go ahead and it's going to load now. But so I just ended up with 15 days. The point there is the following: if they haven't tweeted in 15 days, they're not very active. Or you can pick 30 days, or pick a month, or pick whatever number you want to pick. But we want people that are active. And when we go to do unfollowing, we're going to be unfollowing people that we've followed that haven't followed us back in, say, 10 days. Well, if they haven't tweeted in 15 days, they didn't even see that we followed them, probably. So they didn't even have a chance to follow us back. So let's clean up this list by getting rid of people that have not tweeted in the last, and for tonight's exercise, we're going to use 15 days because that's what I think we ended up with here. Okay, last tweeted, less than 15 days. Beautiful. So that's one thing that's important. Now, there was another thing that I don't see it right now. Lists, I don't think it's in lists. Account age, tweets per day. All right, let's just leave that. That's okay. Then we're going to look at demographic filters. Okay. We want people that have public profiles. If they don't have public profiles, we're not interested in them. Now, users, I got to tell you honestly, I don't know the difference between verified and unverified users. I really don't know. Bill, you're out there. Maybe you know because you've been doing this a long time. Anyhow, I'm going to leave that one alone for right now because I don't know what it means. We'll work on that. Zombie filter. Now, if you go back and look at some of the earlier training, we were taught, and I won't mention by whom, it doesn't matter. We were taught to select zombie level low. I have found out by experimenting that this zombie filter doesn't do what we think it does at all. And so we don't want to use it. We just don't want it in there. Trust me, leave it out. Time zone, doesn't matter. Select language. Well, do you want to be communicating with people that talk Spanish or, well, I don't, or, you know, so we just want English. So we just select English. So again, we're cleaning up the list now so that we're just going to get the people that we really want to communicate with. And so that's all there. So I think Oh, and we definitely want this. We want to exclude previously followed. And again, the reason here is if we followed somebody and they didn't follow us back and then we unfollowed them, we don't want to follow them again. So here we have, we're targeting all followers, showing only people we can follow, excluding previously followed users. These people have tweeted in less than the last 15 days. They have public profiles, and we've targeted English. And I think that's pretty much all we need for the filter. So if we come on down here, we can save the filter, and we'll call it, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Give me a name. Lens filter, lens training filter.
Rick said that the verified are famous people to prove it's their account.
Okay. So we probably don't need verified.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay, so I think we pretty much have what we want here with this filter. Now the beauty, now I'm going to tell you, in the last couple of trainings we did, I did a pretty lousy job of explaining the filter and showing you how to set it up. I really stumbled over it, so I thought we'd go back over tonight and I would sort of clean up some of my faux pas and show you. And I got to tell you, in all honesty, I want to credit Todd for his very clean explanation of how these filters work. I learned a bunch from what he taught us last week. So that's what we have there. We've saved the filter, so when we come back in the future, that filter is going to be there. And now in the future, all we have to do is grab it. There it is, and we'll be done. Okay? And I don't want to click the X like I did last week accidentally. So now we're ready to do our fast follow. Now let's talk about this. Todd told us that we can follow 1,000 people a day. Adam told us if you have less than a couple thousand people in your account, you can only follow a couple hundred people a day. I talked to Leah Ray about that yesterday. And I will tell you what Leah told me, and then I'll tell you what my experience is. And the first thing I'm going to tell you, and Leah didn't say this, but I'm going to say it. I'm not sure anybody really knows. I think we're all sort of guessing at what Twitter does, because I don't think they actually tell us anywhere, because they frown on some of this semi-automated activity. But Leah said that no matter how small the account is, even if it's a brand new account like Laura's, that you can follow 1,000 people a day. She said that it is when I try to follow that many people, I get an error message that says Twitter has blocked me, and I haven't been able to follow even 200 or 300 people a day. That may be because I am in Mexico. I don't know. What I do know is this: when Twitter throws up a roadblock and says, "Oh, you can't follow anymore. We think you're using something automated," all I really have to do is give them a cell phone number that they can send an unlock code to. They send the code, I type in the code, and we're up and running again. End of story. Leah says the same thing. She says that her and Todd get their accounts blocked regularly. Every week they get a couple of blocks thrown at them. But there's never any consequence. There's nothing like Twitter jail like we have with Facebook, where they block you and you can't get unblocked for a week or a month. And there's no consequence to it. For me, there's a consequence. And the consequence is the problem. The problem is that I do not have a cell phone that receives SMS codes here in Mexico. So I have to keep sending my SMS code to Laura's phone, who then has to text it over to me, or Facebook message. Now, my concern there is that one of the ways Twitter tracks multiple accounts is via your phone. If you're setting up 2 accounts, you're better off you have to use separate emails. You cannot set up your accounts with the same email. Won't let you do it. And you're better off, the recommendation is to have a different phone number for each account. So I have myself in a little box here, and I may not be able to follow 1,000 people a day. And those are the reasons why. However, we think, based on what Leah Ray said, at least, we think that Laura can follow 1,000 people a day, and so can you if you want to set up a new account, or if you have an existing account that you can follow up to 1,000 people a day. Now, as you know, with the follow button here, I'm not going to go very far tonight because I don't want to get shut down in the middle of our training webinar and then have to go through this. I mean, we see some things here that we can probably skip over those and just ignore them and just keep right on going. This person was here 4 days ago. This person was in 3 days ago. Or we can stop and we can look at each one of the profiles. It depends on how much time you want to spend with this. But anyhow, we can sit and just follow. And then, of course, the inverse of this is to unfollow. Now, just to make sure everyone's on board with this, I haven't had this account set up long enough that I would be able to do any unfollowing with it, I don't think. Let me go check. Let me switch accounts to Organic Len and tell it that I want to do a fast unfollow. And no users match my criteria. The account hasn't been set up long enough for me to be able to unfollow anybody. However, the other account, my older account, I can do unfollowers. And what I want to do is people that are not following me back, and I want to exclude people that I followed in the past 10 days that haven't followed me back. Now, this is an arbitrary number. Todd was using, or Leah Ray was using 5 days. You can use whatever number you want to use. I don't know that there's any right rhyme or reason for this, but we do want to keep our accounts cleaned up. So we want to get rid of the people that haven't followed us, and there are no rules about how many people you could unfollow. So we can sit here and do this all night. Okay. Now, the next thing you want to do when you're setting up a new account, let me go back to my new account. When you're setting up a new account, you want to come down here to the automation, and you want to automate your settings. So here are my settings for the new account, Organic Len. And what we've done is we've turned on the welcome direct message. So everyone who follows me is going to get a direct message. Thanks for the follow, as a token of my appreciation, blah, 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 blah. And what I'm sending these people is the silent soak. Whereas with the other account, my older account, I was sending them to my 21st Century Guide to Social Media. Again, on this account, I'm going to focus this one on the organic business and the toxin side of the house. So I'm sending them the silent soak. I'm not sure I'm going to stay with that, but that's what I'm doing for today. Again, this account's 2 days old, so I'm still setting it up and still figuring out what I want to do with it. And then also, I've turned on the welcome tweet. Automatically send a welcome tweet to new followers. Thanks for the follow. Check me out, and I'm going to give them my website and check the welcome message for a free gift. So, we're setting up a welcome tweet. Now, I'm going to go ahead. When we come back next week, you're going to see, 5 or 6 or however many I get done, different welcome tweets. The recommendation was to use multiple welcome tweets because these welcome tweets are going out to the world. And so as you get to a point where more and more people are opting or are following you, if you're sending the same welcome tweet to everybody, let's say 20 or 30 people a day are following you, and you're sending the same welcome tweet out to all 20 or 30 people, that's just going out into the universe, the same tweet over and over and over again. And so we don't want to do that. So we want to put in multiple welcome tweets. I don't have enough followers yet in this account to really care about it yet, but I'm going to go ahead and get those things set up. And then I've also gone ahead and turned on the auto tagging. Again, this was suggested last week, so I've got that turned on, and we'll share with you how all that works. So there we have Status Brew for the multiple accounts. Are there any questions on Status Brew? Or any comments from the?
Yeah, well, Pat says, I think he was talking about like following, if you follow too many. He says if you follow too many, they will lock you up and then you just have to go through a few steps and they open up again. And
Right,
yeah, we went through that. Rick
right,
says when he started Twitter made me start at 200 people. Then he upped the number until he reached 5,000 followers, and then it let him follow 1,000 people a day.
right. That's what we were told, and I'm going to re-echo that. That's what we were told, and that's what Adam Chandler taught. So me personally, I'm limiting myself to a couple hundred a day right now. And I tried 500 a day, and that didn't. I tried 500 the other day, and that didn't work. So, but Leah Ray says that you can follow 1,000 a day. So,
And then Bill says, start with 60, then 30, then 20, etc. You want to get rid of the oldest people first.
right. We understand that, Bill. Yes.
And then he said, we didn't show the macro for the mouse.
That's right. We didn't do that. We didn't do that. You're absolutely right, Bill.
Okay. Thanks,
And
Bill.
we're not, yeah, and I'm not going to do that tonight. And Bill, if you want to teach the macro for the mouse, you're more than happy to jump on here next Tuesday and teach it. Come on over and teach us how that macro works. I started, and the reason I'm not, let me go, let me go back here for a minute. Let me go back to, oh God, now I have to figure out how to get back. Okay, send a choose profile or getting when. Back to the unfollow. Not following back. What Bill was referring to is in the not following back is to follow people, unfollow people that if they're 60, 30, or 90, if they're 90 days old. I don't have anybody 90 days old anymore, Bill. And the reason I don't is I cleaned it out. So I really only have people that are, oh, she followed me 2 months ago and unfollowed me about 2 hours ago. That's interesting. Okay, bye. If you go back if you look through my list of people that I can unfollow, you'll find that most of them haven't been followed for very long. There's nobody in the list that's more than 30 days. I've got it all cleaned up. All right. We're going to run out of time pretty quickly here. I'm not doing the webinar at 6 o'clock tonight. However, Christy Kelly is. It's going to be her first time doing it, and I'd like to go over and support her. But let's go on, just to spend a few minutes now with social jukebox. And I think what I'm going to do here is we'll pick up with social jukebox next week and spend a little bit more time with it on Tuesday. They and again, the guests used a different program. They used social oomph. Is that the name of it?
Yep, social
Social oomph. Social oomph.
Yeah.
Okay. Leah Ray made the comment that they had started with I think I can sign with Twitter. That they had started with Twitter jukebox, and they had found some issues with Twitter jukebox and changed to social oomph. Excuse me. Of course, Twitter jukebox doesn't exist any longer, and it is social jukebox. And since I've got social jukebox already up and running, I'm not going to change over to social oomph right now, and I don't see any real advantage. For someone who's starting brand new, fresh today, and you don't have either one of them up and running, then I don't have an opinion whether social oomph is better than social jukebox or it isn't. And I don't think Leah Ray would have an opinion either, since she's never used social jukebox. They've got social oomph running. I looked at social oomph today. I really don't see much difference. There's some difference in the mechanics. I don't see a lot of difference in capability. But what happens here then is that we have to add we have to add the new account. So I've added organic Len. So you see, I'm looking for the settings where we. Oh God, I've lost it.
What are you looking for?
Huh?
What are you looking for?
Where you add the new account at. No, we don't want to add a new jukebox. Analytics how to schedule. Where I added the new account.
Isn't that it right there? Organic Len?
That is the new account, but I had to add it somewhere. So I've lost track of where I added it at. But what we have to have the new account added, and then once we add the new account added, then we can set up the jukeboxes for the new account. So all I did so far, I'm not going to worry about how to add the new account right now. I'll come back to that in a moment. Maybe somebody else out there remembers, somebody doesn't, I don't know. But now that we've got the new account added, all I really did was I copied the jukeboxes over, and it made it pretty easy to do that. So we went to the.
Yeah, Bill says go back to your primary account, and that's where it will allow you to add the other account.
Yeah, I think that's true. But how do I get back to the primary account?
Here I am trying to click on your page.
Well, all right.
On the left, where you switch accounts.
Yeah, I don't think so. Well,
add new account. Oh, I just saw it.
Well, it's add the jukebox. I think I may have to. It may be that I have to log off. You know what? I don't want to screw around with it. I clearly don't remember where I added the new account at, and so rather than give you a bunch of garbage, I will get this sorted out and clean it up and show it all to you next week. But I think Bill's right. I think I have to get back to my primary account, probably log out, which I already did, and then log back in. But when I log in with Twitter, oh, you know what? I may have to close down the Twitter account. That may be the problem. I'll bet I have to log out of the Twitter account and then log back. Huh?
You know, I just went to my social jukebox account and I got a message after I logged in that says my system is turned off. Oh, forget it. Don't mind me. I know what happened. It's because it logged into the new Twitter account, which is not set up.
Okay. So there, that was the secret, and we can review that next week. That was the secret. I had to log out of that Twitter account and log into my primary Twitter account. And once I've logged into my primary Twitter account, then it gives me the ability to add accounts and to switch accounts. So that was where the trick was. What I will do, we only have a few minutes left, and I'm going to go ahead and come out of the screen share. What I will do, if I manage to confuse everybody, I apologize for that. I will go back through setting up Social Jukebox next week a little bit more carefully on how to set up the second account and how to add the jukeboxes for it. So I don't want to blunder along here and just confuse you even more. So share. Okay. Hi, Junie. We got 9 people. Okay. Okay. So that's as far as we're going to get tonight. For those of you who have the time, come on over to the 6 o'clock webinar and give a shout out to um, our presenter tonight. And
Christy Kelly. Is that the sixfigureslive.com?
yeah, sixfigureslive.com. And no, yeah, that's what it is. So let me check that. I'm sure that's what it is. Yeah, sixfigureslive.com. Christy Kelly is doing the webinar tonight. It'll be the first time she's ever done it. And so for those of you, again, those of you who can, let's go over and give her some support. And that's all we're going to do tonight. I hope I didn't confuse you too much. Sorry about that on the social jukebox. And we'll pick it up there next week, and we'll clean that up a little bit and make sure we understand how to set up the multiple accounts on using social jukebox. Okay?
Sounds good.
Anybody else have any comments or etc.? Have a happy Thanksgiving. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm looking at the comments from Rick. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Bye for now.
Bye. Bye, everybody. Happy Turkey Day.